Meet Jiankui He, a Chinese scientist who had created a genetically modified baby, breaking every ethical law regarding genetic research and being sentenced to jail for 3 years back in 2019. After being released, he would somewhat disappear for a while until he got access to social media.
Wait, is he the creator of Umamusume? This guy? He created Umamusume? The guys play Nika too? I don't play Nika. Me too, E for me too?
Namely, Twitter. And in classic supervillain fashion, he would tweet out, "Every pioneer or prophet must suffer while staring intently at the camera." All while continuing his genetic research like nothing had happened.
3 years in prison.
Of course, make him go viral. But what were people's reactions here?
Wow.
Were they shocked? Were they outraged? Were they scared?
He's not even hiding
it. Spamming him, pestering him even, with one request. Eventually, there will be so many people requesting the same thing that he had to make an entire post responding to it. Saying, "Stop asking for cat girls. I'm trying to cure disease."
I'm so confused.
This dude was sentenced to jail for creating genetically modified babies and forging the ethical paperwork. But the only thing people were concerned with was cat
223k likes.
It comes as no surprise, guys. Anime girls have taken over the world. But look, if the movie Ratatouille has taught me anything in life, it's that things are better when combined together. And so some of the most intelligent people on planet Earth saw cats and thought, wow, this is really cute and adorable, like anime girls. Why don't we combine them and create
cat girls?
Perfect. The result? A massive success. This, of course, made even more people think, until a particular group of people came up with a very interesting idea. They thought, well, look, humans love cats, right? I'm sure they love dogs too, but what's one animal that's been with us since the beginning? An animal humans share a very important bond with. Horses. So listen to this genius idea, right? What if we took anime girls and gave them horse ears and horse tails? Then we would put all these cute anime horse girls together on a track and have them...
How did this game blow up? I don't know. Is it that fun? I mean, I never played it. Is it that fun? Like, what happens? Do you just like watch them race each other? And like do you bet? What do you bet? Like gacha pools? Do you bet gacha pools?
Race, just like horses do during horse races. But get this, okay? Things don't end here, because these horse girls are living a double life. When they're not racing on the horse track, they're idols. Dancing and singing in top-tier performances to a massive audience. Sounds absolutely insane.
It does sound insane.
I mean, seriously, girls, anime horse girls racing on a track. You've got to be shitting me, man.
Yeah, it's
the concept of gacha games is already niche. And horse girls in a gacha game, you won't find anyone to play it.
It's pretty fun.
Nope, I was severely wrong. Look at this.
85k, 52k right now, 87k people, all-time peak. It's even on Steam. Is it free to play or do you have to buy it? Do you guys know? I mean, you guys know, you guys play it, right? It's probably free to play, right? If it's a gacha game.
Chart just on Steam with a peak of 87,000 people playing at the same time. That's not all though. The game hasn't even been out for 1 month globally and has already reached over 1 million downloads on the Google Play Store. Still not surprised? The game has gotten so popular on Steam that it has beaten every single game on the platform to claim the #1 spot for most downloaded games in this current period.
Counter-Strike is insanely popular. I love Counter-Strike. It's so freaking popular. Umamusume beat Counter-Strike.
Thinking, okay, fine, maybe it's like this mass hysteria going on. Maybe this concept is so ridiculous people downloaded it, but then realized, it's not really for me, right? Look at these reviews. 94% very positive with almost 15,000 reviews on Steam. This game didn't just get downloaded a lot. It's now critically acclaimed. But if you're still somehow not shocked yet, well, get this. Gacha games are typically liked by a very specific demographic. Young adults who usually love anime. When it came to this horse girl gacha racing game, though, it reached children, their parents, and their grandparents.
Even
impossible and targeting every single conceivable demographic. Guys, it doesn't matter where you go. The metro, the airport, your office, you will most likely see someone playing this on their phone. I say this with no exaggeration. Umamusume Pretty Derby has taken over the planet. And I haven't seen a gacha game do this since Genshin Impact back during the pandemic. But if this still doesn't shock you for whatever reason, then get ready to get sucker punched in the face. Because that's exactly what happened to me when I started seeing headlines like this.
impressive.
Umamusume developer Cygames is a title sponsor for Grand Prix de Paris, a prestigious horse racing event founded in 1863.
Man, she's so pretty.
Being held
the
for
horse
almost
girl
2
on the
centuries.
front page.
And their logo
she's
just happens
beautiful.
to be on an image of an anime girl that is also a horse.
I like her.
What
I like her.
the fuck is going on? And
I have no
how
idea.
did we get here?
My person is
none of it was straightforward, and this game
this.
almost failed to
Really?
release. Umamusume Pretty Derby has a somewhat chaotic but also very interesting history.
That
and seeing how it's
popular?
practically dominated the world, I figured we need to talk about it. So
Wait,
let's
like
do
actually,
this. Man,
I just thought it was like a new gacha game that got popular. Like it's exploding. It's like massively exploding. Like gigantically exploding. Like Genshin. Okay, wow. Wow,
horses are such
game.
silly animals, but you know what other animals I like? Warships, warplanes, and war tanks, baby. And the best part about this is that I can find all these vehicles and 2,500 other variations in War Thunder, a vehicle combat game so comprehensive in details that it has over 70 million players on all platforms, including PC, consoles, and mobile devices. These vehicles are as detailed as possible, and they span multiple eras. You can then customize these vehicles to your liking. This leads us to my favorite thing about War Thunder, the fact that there are no simple hitboxes. Every vehicle has engines, fuel tanks, weapons, and crew. That's the level of detail
I know
we're
about
dealing with here. But wait, it gets better, because if you're a new player or a returning player who hasn't played the game in over 6 months, you get free premium vehicles, 100,000 silver lions, 7 days of premium account, and much more, available for PC and consoles. So if you're interested, make sure to get the game for free by clicking the link in the description or the pinned comment. Thank you so much, War Thunder, for sponsoring this video. Alright guys, by now, you know the drill. To really understand the significance of all this, we need context. And in this case, it's going to be a little history lesson. And we're going all the way back to the year 1603, the beginning of the Tokugawa period, otherwise known as the Edo period. This period would be the most traditional period in Japan, mostly because it would be incredibly isolated from the rest of the world. The people in power at the time feared outside influence. In fact, their biggest fear was Christianity. You'd have missionaries from European countries come in to spread the gospel, and people were converting fast. The Japanese leaders saw this as a way for Europe to slowly take control of Japan, so they took extreme measures. They completely locked down the country except for a select few traders who only had access to specific ports. Japanese people were not allowed to leave Japan, and if they did, they wouldn't be allowed back. And more importantly, Christianity was outlawed. The shogunate took extreme measures and massacred over 37,000 Japanese Christians, making it go almost extinct in Japan and ruling for over 2 centuries. This would all change in 1868, when the Tokugawa shogunate would lose its power and the Meiji Restoration would take its place. One could say that this period was the opposite of the Tokugawa shogunate's military rule, completely opening up the country, technologically advancing very quickly, and fully embracing the idea of an industrialized nation that can compete with Europe and North America. That way, they don't face the threat of colonization. During this new era, you'd start seeing more foreigners in Japan, like British and Americans, specifically around port towns. Their numbers would start becoming significant to the point where they'd start having their own communities built around those port towns. This is where, to kill time, Westerners would start playing the sports they knew, like rugby, cricket, and of course, baseball, which is now the most popular sport in Japan today.
I know that it's very popular in Japan.
According to the 500-page book titled Routledge Companion to Sports History, which outlines the origins of sports all around the world, horse racing in Japan was introduced as early as 1862 by those same Westerners. And within just 8 years, the first jockey club in Kobe was formed in 1870. You see, the Japanese, much like the rest of the world, also had a special connection to horses. They also loved the idea of entertainment. So they latched onto the sport very quickly, as you can see from this old drawing. Japanese people are on their horses about to race, but the people organizing it can be seen on the left here. And they're foreigners, they're Westerners. Today, it's seen as a prestigious sport, with the Japan Cup having some of the highest prize pools on the planet, and the Japanese taking the sport very seriously, wanting to compete on even footing with foreign horses. Right now, the prize pool for the Japan Cup is about $8.3 million, with first place claiming $3.8 million.
Wow.
And even though horse racing was seen as such an important sport in Japan, there was a problem. interest was kind of waning. When you go to a horse track, you'd mostly see men who are in the older demographics. You wouldn't see teenagers, young adults, kids, or even women that much. In a way, if things kept going this way, then the sport would have probably died out in a couple of generations. It was simply seen as too old-fashioned. But all of this would change when a particular studio came up with a ridiculous idea. An idea, actually, that almost ruined their company's reputation and potentially could have bankrupted them. I'm of course talking about Umamusume Pretty Derby. Cyber Agent is a Japanese company that was founded in 1998. They started out as a digital advertising company, but in 2011 they decided to expand in the ever-growing video game market. This is when they would create Cygames, a video game development studio. Cyber Agent would own the majority of the shares of Cygames, but sell a few to other companies, like for example, Nintendo, who owns 5% of Cygames.
What have they
would go on to create some pretty well-received games, like Shadowverse, a digital collectible card game, and of course, Grand Blue Fantasy, which was critically acclaimed. But arguably, Cygames' most important game would end up being one of the first ones they'd ever release in 2011, titled The Idolmaster Cinderella Girls. This game would be a part of the massive franchise known as The Idolmaster, owned by Bandai Namco, with the first ever game coming out in 2005. Many games for this franchise would release, and in 2011, that's when Cygames would release The Idolmaster Cinderella Girls.
Like 20
they
of
made
them.
this on behalf of Bandai Namco. What was special about this game is that it was made for mobile phones back in 2011. Namco was seeing the rise of mobile games, and so that's when they asked Cygames to help. The premise was simple. You'd collect a bunch of idol girls and you would train them, raising their stats through lessons. You would then be able to do a number of things, like customize their outfits and even spend money on cosmetics. There would also be many different minigames, including a multiplayer game mode where you can fight other players. The player with the most stats wins. Overall, it was simple, but extremely successful. This game was earning more than 1 billion yen a month. Back then, that was around $13 million. Wow. It was revealed that more than 75% of players who got the game chose to pay for either in-game items or energy in order to play more. And according to this article, in August 2012, the game had made 9 million USD, which is more than the cost of developing the game. This game was making more money monthly than it cost to make. And all it did was just feature a bunch of idols that you trained, up their stats.
Sorry, so the game came out already like 4 years ago, and now we're getting it just now? Like Global is getting it just now. It just came on Global, even though the game is at least 4 years old. Wow. Man, we're getting it so late.
And got them different outfits. But you see, Bandai Namco is truly taking this franchise to the next level. It started as an arcade game, they made a mobile game, and they also made a manga as well as an anime that adapted that same manga. They were essentially using this franchise to build a media empire, and it was working very damn well. They would continue to hire more developers to create more entries in this franchise, and the most recent release would be in 2024, so it's still doing pretty damn well. This is when Cygames would have some sort of an epiphany. Even though this was owned by Bandai Namco, they were the ones who made this extremely successful game. And I mean, it made sense. Why wouldn't a game like that be a success? The idol industry in Japan is probably one of the biggest, most successful industries in entertainment.
I mean,
it involved finding someone young with talent, absolutely destroying their lives with ridiculously rigid training and extremely unrealistic expectations, and once they get enough popularity, this is when you would milk their fans with a bunch of different media and merchandise. People will do anything for their idols. They'll literally buy a photo album of them, okay? This is why the idol industry is such a money printing machine. But here's a fun fact for you. When it comes to horse racing in the West, certain jockeys who are the
I'd like to one day visit this like idol concert, or I don't know what to call it. I don't know, I'm not sure what to call it. I guess an idol concert or something like that, you know, because people have these like headbands, right? They have these like glow sticks. I've never been to one, so one day I want to see it for myself. You know, if it really like exists, right? It seems so surreal. It seems so surreal for me to imagine so many people, you know, going to such a place. But I mean, if it's hype, if it's amazing,
riders might have fans.
Why not?
Sure.
Why not?
The horses that they ride also might have fans, but it wasn't anything crazy. In Japan, on the other hand, The horses had fans, all right. They
wow.
had their own merch. They were recognized by name. Some even have superstitions made around them. I mean, this is just a talent Japanese people have to idolize anything they like. And as much as this sounded ridiculous, there was big market potential here. Cygames had made a very successful idol game, and yet horse racing was a deeply historical aspect of Japanese culture, while also having those same idol traits. You know what else is interesting? When it comes to entertainment, the idol industry is very profitable, sure, but one thing Japanese people love to do is gamble, baby. A Japanese person not knowing pachinko is like an American not knowing what a burger is.
Oh, at this point, wow! It's practically wait, is it that big, gambling in Japan? I've never been to Japan, and I don't know much about Japan besides, you know, anime. Lots of anime, they create lots of anime. But is this real? Is this a real photo? I've never been to a gambling like place before. Like, I've never been to casinos before. So I'm not sure if casinos here in Europe look the same. But wait, is this a real? Like, people go to these places, sit down, and throw money and gamble, right? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I know it's just actually pretty dark, especially less known group, but very smelly. I see, I see.
Cultural. I mean, look, it goes without saying that horse racing was very popular in Japan because of the whole gambling aspect of it. And now you can gamble on a simulated horse race. It's not even real.
Playing gacha games.
Place your bets on this spaceship-looking machine, bro. This looks insane. That's how much they love it. And finally, just like
One Piece, Naruto. This is what I know. Wait, JoJo and God, this is the girl that Maki loves. Maki loves her. Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon. This is what I know Japan for. Okay. Lots of amazing anime.
And gambling are huge in the entertainment industry in Japan. We can't forget to talk about anime.
Yeah,
and in the early 2000s, many
Bleach.
artists were having the amazing idea of giving anime girls cat ears or just small animal features. Not to mention that there were already examples in media taking this a step further.
I'm pretty sure this is a gacha game. I never played the game. I'm not sure what it is called right now, but I'm pretty sure she's a character from a very popular gacha game. Something with ships.
Instead of giving them animal features, they would give them features of objects. Like how the game Azur Lane has you collect these hot anime women that are meant to be World War II battleships.
These are battleships? These are battleships? This is a battleship? Wow, wait. Oh my god, it's getting hot in here. It's getting hot in here. Large cruiser. This is a freaking battleship. Help? Help? What do you mean? This is a battleship? Do you see her feet and stockings? Man, the roleplay must go so hard, man, right? Oh my god, find yourself a girlfriend who will laugh, who's into roleplaying. Azur Lane is close to being 18 plus game. Man, oh my god. One day I have to go to a, you know, like VIP place. I don't know what to call it, I forgot the name already. Oh my god, dude, the moment I find a VIP girlfriend, I'm asking her to roleplay. I mean, hopefully she's into roleplaying. Roleplaying is so much fun,
this
right? This
woman's called Azuma, and she's part of the large cruiser category.
Large cruiser?
She's stationed in the camp Sakura Islands. This is meant to be
She's huge! She's massive, man! She's so massive! Azur Lane battleships that turn into waifus. Wait, look at this! Look at this cruise ship! This is a ship. Okay, I don't... Like, how does the combat look like in Azur Lane? Like, do you actually have, like, any kind of ships? Or is it just hot women, like, I don't know, shooting at each other? Cause I can't even picture Azur Lane. Like, how does the combat look like? How are they, like, do they just have, like, ship's name? Like, name of ships? Or is there, like, actually some kind of, like, ship involved in the game? Like, do you actually have ships in the game? In some form? Is this just like their spirit? I don't know, I can't picture Azur Lane, man. Oh my god, that is... Okay. Azur Lane are battleships turn into waifus. There's skins in Azur Lane where the proportions are so big and their bikinis are just string. Who cares about combat those games? No, that's true, good point. But wait, do those games, like, have story? Do they have story? Or do they just, like, pull for the looks? You know? Like, is there any story involved? Is there anything happening? I can't even picture it, because at least in Umamusume, I guess you're racing, right? You're racing, you're betting. But in warships, or in Azur Lane, Like, what do you do there? Do you just do you just goon? Is it all you do? You goon in Azur Lane? The game is boring, but it has a lot of pretty girls. Okay, kinda. AL is pure gooner bait. Oh, okay. I was thinking about every gameplay, but the story just pure looks. Okay. So, you just played for the hot women.
Battleship, bro, like an actual boat, you understand? And man, does she have some big cannons, let me tell you that much.
She's massive
I don't know who the genius at Cygames was, bro. It could be the CEO, it could be a producer. Someone had the brilliant idea to sit everyone down and say, hey, what if we combined all these elements together, right? For the gambling, we make a gacha game. For the anthropomorphic catgirl part, we make horse girls. And for the idol part, we base them off the most famous horses in Japan. While also making them sing and dance, because why not? Now be honest, if you were one of those people listening to this pitch, would you have signed off on this? Because it obviously sounds ridiculous, right? Most people probably wouldn't have. But Cygames had top tier drugs in their office because you know what? They said drugs. Yes.
Massive
they then wasted no time getting started on developing the game, revealing it for the first time on the 21st of August 2016 at the Anime Japan Expo. Excitement for this game was actually already starting to build up, and that made more people want to know more details about Umamusume. So on January 2017, the main content producer of Cygames, Akihiro Ishihara, was asked a bunch of different questions during an interview, and one of them was, please tell us about the development status. And he said, this game is about 25% complete. Keep that number in mind. But for now, this interview had also revealed many of the horse girl designs, as well as the famous horses they're based on. It seemed like they knew what they were doing. And they had learned their lessons with Bandai Namco. They were going the Idolmaster route, not just aiming to make one good game. They wanted to make a media empire around Umamusume.
So there's like a whole anime manga about it. Wait, because this is anime site. Spin-off. Spin-off! Manga, anime, manga, games. It's an actual empire? Hello Nikolai, hello. Autumn, fun fact, there was no loot out of the horse girls because people thought the Yakuza would hunt them down if they made loot out of the horse girls. I see.
Just a couple months after that interview in March 2017, they
are
released
Yakuza still
a manga,
prominent
but they weren't done
Japan?
yet because they wanted to adapt this manga into an anime.
I just know Yakuza from like anime, you know? Like hot, cool, badass looking people with tattoos. There's 3 seasons of the anime and several movies! Like even movies! Actually movies! Hi, I'm back. I'm Mr. Hello Nagi! Hello Nagi! Actual movies! Like movies of horse girls. Cap, it's amazing to watch. Okay, like I know, I don't know if you guys know the anime called Beelzebub. That's my, like, I love the anime. You know, that's how I picture Yakuza.
We're going to enlist the studio PA Works to do it.
Wait, aren't Yakuza just gangsters? I guess in Japan they have power, right? They have power. Okay, I don't know. I've seen so much anime, so like my knowledge about Yakuza are like from anime, you know. I don't know what's an actual Yakuza. Okay, I don't know. I just know from anime. Okay, gangsters, tattoos. Okay. Beat up people or protect people depends on the story, on the, you know, what kind of story you want to tell, in what way you want to portray them. Either super good guys, super bad guys.
Plan was to release this anime in 2018 in parallel to the game's release.
Oh, I know this anime, Charlotte, but I never watched the final episode because I forgot. But I really like Charlotte. Oh my god, this is Angel Beats! I love Angel Beats! Angel Beats, Charlotte. I don't know the rest though. The rest doesn't ring a bell. Oh wait, I don't know. I don't think I've seen this, but I've seen the title.
That way, both would help each other, and they would start off with a strong symbiotic media empire. That was
it was so
plan,
sad. It was so freaking
nothing,
sad.
And I mean nothing in regards to release dates went according to plan.
Wait, what?
The Umamusume Pretty Derby anime would release on April 1st, 2018. It wasn't just limited to Japan, it had a simulcast with Crunchyroll in select regions of the world. It was almost an instant success. Similarly to how people love the idea of catgirls, the idea of horse girls was also very well received. But a couple of aspects that it was really praised for were 1, its attention to detail, and 2, its very skilled world building. But we'll get to that later. Right now, there's a more pressing concern going on.
Just one question. Does the game have a story? Is there a story behind it in the game? I guess in the anime, the story is about being number 1, right? I guess there's a story, but I'm not sure if in the gacha game. like, is there a story in the gacha game? In the anime, I guess the story is about winning, right? And this might be the main character, and she's trying to win.
As the anime was running,
the game would release 3 more teasers on April
19th.
Yes, and they rated them all.
A live show, and a story/training section. I can't show you those videos because they've been privated, but overall, it seemed like everything was going according to plan.
So you just
with the game
played
scheduled to release around the end of 2018.
racing.
This would be confirmed again on July 2018, with yet another trailer showing off the game and its mechanics, announcing at the end that it was going to release at the end of 2018. As people were waiting, wondering when the game was going to come out, Cygames took their sweet time and only announced on December 15th, 2018, literally the end of the year, that Umamusume Pretty Derby has been delayed in order to raise the game's quality, saying that they will reveal the new release period at a later date. I mean, okay, not a big deal. I mean, it would have been nice if you told us earlier, but one delay doesn't hurt, especially if the game's going to be better for it, right? Well, the game got delayed again in 2019. And the new release date was slated to be in
wait, I've seen pictures of this horse girl. Of this girl. I don't know her name, but I've seen people like really loving this girl, this horse girl. You know what's crazy? Amongst all of these girls, I think I saw only people care about her. I think she might be the only horse girl that I have seen. I've seen so many pictures of her though. Golshi? Hey Autumn, congrats for it. Ah, thank you Annie! Thank you so much. Right now we're downloading the JP voice pack for Honkai Star Rail. Because I haven't downloaded it yet, so it's gonna take a while. So we're watching this video while we wait for the newest, for the update.
Now, Cyber Agent is a publicly listed company, and just like any publicly listed company, they would have shareholder meetings. So in their third quarter shareholder meeting in 2020, they re-emphasized to their investors that Umamusume Pretty Derby was going to be released in 2020, confirming that fact. Just a couple of months earlier, in May 2020, the managing director of Cygames confirmed yet again that Umamusume Pretty Derby was releasing in 2020. But then, we got to December 2020, and the game was nowhere to be found.
Delayed again.
But yet again, in the final shareholder meeting of the year on December 12th, investors will be told that this game is still on track to release in 2020.
Remember,
but there were
guys,
2 weeks left in the year. It was safe.
You know, a delayed game can be good. A rushed game is doomed from the beginning. I mean, it's not doomed from the beginning. But the rushed games, you know, will be worse, right? If you delay the game, it has a chance to pop out. And I guess it happened. At least in global.
That after previous delays, people weren't just thinking, oh, this game's going to be delayed again. They were also thinking, is this game ever going to release? How can you say in an interview in the beginning of 2017 that the game's almost 25% done with a 2018 release date, and yet here we are 2 years later, barely able to make the release?
How's the downloading going?
This means
wait, let me check. How's the downloading going? Oh, wait. It's the download of the voice expansion pack has been completed. It's done. So we're just gonna finish the video, and then we're gonna start Honkai Star Rail. Sorry, I'm sorry, I want to know. I'm into the video too much. Okay, we're gonna quickly finish this video, and then we're gonna jump into Honkai Star Rail.
The game has no direction. That Cygames is dealing with an internal disaster. And what really reinforced this narrative is the fact that the game didn't even come out in 2020. We had reached 2021, and the game still had not released yet. It was only on February 24th, 2021 that the game had finally released in Japan.
Holy
and while it was cool that the game had finally come out.
Worldwide, June 26th. Last month! Wait! The game is last month all. Wait, what's VV? Is it worldwide? WW? I'm not sure.
Out, people didn't really know whether to be excited or worried. Especially with how Cyberpunk 2077 had released just a couple months earlier, and even though it's been delayed multiple times, had one of the worst launches in history. It had a horrible launch. But you know what?
I didn't play the game. I saw millions of videos about it.
This was not the case with Umamusume Pretty Derby. People were so addicted to the damn thing, they couldn't stop playing.
Look at it now. It's a global. Exactly. It's a global phenomenon.
From their work on Idolmaster.
You're so right, Cassidy. Quickly finish the video. This half hour more. Sorry, there.
Train them on.
Just a little bit more.
You also have many different mini games and many ways to interact with your roster. You would then have your horse or horse girl race, competing against others in a bid to win first place. These races would make your heart beat like crazy because there was always a chance that one of the horse girls could use a special ability, including your own, like you're seeing right here. You could be losing a race, and then your horse will all by themselves decide to do this in order to win. It just depends on their mood and how they power up. One could even say that this was more exciting than IRL horse racing thanks to all these factors. But the game wasn't over with just one horse girl. Eventually, that horse girl would retire, just like IRL horses, kicking off the inheritance mechanic, just like real life. Here's an example. This is the family tree of the very famous horse.
Family tree?
As you can see, this is probably more complex than my own family tree.
Wait. So you breed horses? You breed horses to create like descendants. And those descendants like take over. Okay.
I'm a human. It rivals the family tree of like some royalty from the 1600s or something. This is all done with the goal of creating the most genetically engineered monster that can dominate any race. And that's what you kind of do in Umamusume as well.
You're breeding horses in Umamusume. Breeding them to create the next, the next hero. I mean, the next, champion. I guess champion you could say. He's going down the rabbit hole. Now we need to stream on Umamusume. Also be like, watch this video but faster. Yes, Gold is the risk master in the whole world.
Well, the hard work that you put into your now
Wait, so like, what do you do? I can't even picture it. Do you like are you mate them? I mean, you look for potential mates too? But I mean, if it's a gacha game, aren't they considered like waifus? So do you even want other characters to mate with them? Or is it like you as the MC mating with them to create the next generation of horses? I can't even picture it. Because normally in gacha games, they're like waifus, right? And I can picture so many people like being angry, like getting very angry if the girl, gets with someone else than the main character, than with the self-insert.
Horse girl can now be incorporated into your new horse girl by using her as one of her coaches. So in a way, you also become more of a genetic scientist and try to create the perfect horse girl after many different runs. So this gameplay loop was so addicting, it was like playing a civilization game. Screaming one more turn as the police is confiscating your phone from you because you have...
If you have Epic Games, right now it's free on Epic Games. You can get Civilization 6 for free. Platinum Edition, totally for free. Till Thursday. Free on Epic Games, Civilization 6.
I haven't eaten in 3 days.
Goshi's
People couldn't stop playing it. But as this game became so popular in Japan, it started somewhat suffering from success, you could say. You see, usually, the people who own some of the best racehorses in the world happen to be some very wealthy and successful people. Seeing that Umamusume's characters are based on real-life horses, they had to go and ask each of these owners their permission to have them in the game. The owners agreed to do that free of charge, not charging any money. This was seen as a very cool and kind gesture from them. But here's the thing, these weren't just horses, these were anime girls that were in many cases pretty. And usually when you present Japan with a pretty anime girl, they will instinctively almost want to draw some pretty lewd fan art. That was a problem. Cygames knew it was a problem, so they created very specific fan-created content guidelines, outlining rules, saying you can't make fan art with the intent to injure the reputation of this franchise or other third parties. You can't do any lewd stuff, you can't do any violent stuff. The owners of these horses did not want to see their horses participate in anything like that. It was a red line for them. But that didn't necessarily make people want to listen. Now, of course, usually, if you were to break these rules, Cygames would just send you a takedown notice and sue you if you don't comply. But of course, this would be too boring for a franchise like Umamusume. So some people came up with a rumor that now is regarded as truth in many different circles and has spread like wildfire. If you draw any lewd art of Umamusume girls, the Yakuza will knock on your door and hurt you. Okay, so as far as I can tell, this all started with this stupid tweet. A Japanese person tweeted this out, saying, the reason why Japanese artists can't draw Umamusume porno art is that Umamusume is based on real racehorses and their owners are like mafia bosses who control the Japanese economy and we don't want to offend them. This was tweeted on March 11th, 2021, so very shortly after the game released. Now, I don't know how much attention this initial tweet got, but what really brought attention to this was the second tweet this person would make, saying, please retweet as much as you can for people overseas.
Yes, and holding for the original
tweet and another image, with that person saying, the content of the tweet and the image is complete bullshit. It is a falsehood that amounts to defamation of the racehorse owners. I have insulted the owners of racehorses and other people involved in horse racing, as well as the staff of the Umamusume project. Racehorse owners are people who are sincerely committed to the culture of horse racing. They are not involved in antisocial organizations. In addition, I tried to make overseas artists complicit in the prohibition of secondary works that significantly worsen the image of the project, which is clearly stated in the official guidelines. This is all due to my short-sightedness and arrogance. I would like to express my deepest apologies to everyone involved and to all those who have supported me. So this apology was definitely overkill to the initial tweet. It was clearly like some kind of a joke, I guess. It was almost like this person had, I don't know, murdered someone. This made people assume that this person got caught by the Yakuza and forced, right, at gunpoint to make this apology, because that's what it sounds like. As you can see here, the top comment is, "So they found you?" And the person said, "No, it's not. It's just that I made the wrong statement." Someone else said, "I'm guessing they gave you a call." To which this person said, "No, it doesn't." Someone said, "I'm sorry to hear that the racehorse mafia got to you. Had no idea Japan even had such an intense culture of racehorsing, let alone one run by gangsters." And that person replied with, "Please don't tell us such bullshit."
You know what? I would believe it too.
Easy to troll. This eventually got posted on Reddit.
They're very
ironically
hardcore.
saying, "Turns out old-fashioned Yakuza are alive and well in Japanese horse racing industry. They are sending goons to stop doujin artists from making drawings of Umamusume project characters." All of these events have resulted in this becoming a full-fledged meme. Whenever someone mentions, "Man, I'd love to draw these characters in nude poses," someone always comes in and comments, "Hey man, you don't want to do that. The Yakuza's gonna get you." And while it's funny, it's gotten a lot of people to actually believe it, especially overseas. But the truth is that Yakuza doesn't own any of the horses, and that gambling is heavily regulated by the JRA, the Japanese Racing Association.
Really?
So no, if you draw lewd art, the Yakuza aren't going to knock on your door, but you might get a DMCA notice from a lawyer. But regardless, Yakuza hiccups aside, this game was making bank. In 2021 alone, even though they released 1 month after the year had began in February, they had made over $1 billion. And by March 2025, they had made a total of $2.5 billion since release. This is an insane amount of money, but what's even more insane is that 90% or more of its revenue came purely from Japan. Cygames had the Japanese population in its chokehold. And as I mentioned, these weren't just young adults. There would be endless stories of people going on the metro, going to a restaurant, going outside, and seeing someone way older than them or way younger than them playing this game on their phone. It became cultural.
Cultural
Japan,
gambling.
even though open to the rest of the world,
gambles.
Still has a very
Kids,
particular
adults,
market. Just because something is successful there does not mean in any way that it'll be successful anywhere else, especially when it comes to the topic of gacha games. So when it came to finally launching the game globally on June 26, 2025, more than 4 years after launching it in Japan, people didn't really know what to expect. It was reasonable to think that it was going to just die out in a few months, with Japan continuing to be its main revenue source. Except what it did was inconceivable. It was absolutely dominating the Steam charts. As you saw in the intro, it became the #1 most downloaded game on Steam at some point, also becoming an instant success on mobile. But what's really interesting here is that it managed to recreate exactly what happened in Japan, but globally, which was not having a target demographic, reaching everyone equally. Here's a fun example. Northern Lion is a streamer who's 36 years old. He would not, in any way, be the target demographic of a game like Umamusume Pretty Derby. No way in hell. But his chat kept pestering him, "Please download the game, give it a shot. For the love of God, you'll love it." And eventually, he gave in. Now, Northern Lion is a pretty big streamer. He'll usually average around 15,000 viewers. But when he streamed Umamusume, he had reached his all-time peak of 40,000 live viewers.
Holy shit! Hello, 40,000!
Absolutely loved it. Okay, he fell in love with the game, the characters, everything. He even had Japanese players seeing some of the reactions from Western players thinking, "Wow, we gotta up our game because these guys are way more passionate than us. Look at this."
No way!
Put it into high gear! I need all you got right now! The Kentucky Derby's on the line! Come on!
It was, with no exaggeration, taking over the entire internet. And it showed in the stock price of Cyber Agent, the parent company of Cygames, with its stock market price going up like crazy. But why is that? How is this game such a success, so highly rated, both in Japan and overseas? We've established that the gameplay loop is fun.
It's actually that
there are a lot of games like that. This isn't just a game at this point, it's a cultural phenomenon. So what was something that it did that other games weren't even close to achieving? Well, the horses.
The horses.
Alright, so remember how I mentioned that this game's anime was praised for having immense attention to detail and world building? Well, the game was very similar in that regard too. Seeing that all these anime horse girls were based on real-life horses, Cygames did their homework and examined every single horse and its very specific personality, incorporating all these aspects into their anime character. But that's not all. When it comes to the world of Umamusume, many things in there were based on real-life locations, like racetracks and areas around it.
Wait. Okay, so every horse in the game is after a real horse, and they like study each horse. So like the character we have in the game is trying to resemble the horse in real life, right? So the horse in Gochi, her name was Gochi, right? She's the most popular horse. So was she that popular in real life too? I guess she was, right? That's why she's so hype.
Train stations
now
to the convenience store where the horse girls buy their carrots.
It's a roguelike.
This wasn't just attention to detail. This was making landmarks out of IRL locations and attributing important history to them. Additionally, this world wasn't just made in like one evening. It made sense, and that's because its world building was very well made. Horse girls in this world are seen as a different type of species. They're treated as well as humans, there's no discrimination, and instead they have a real place in this world, with certain gadgets, for example, made specifically for them. Look at this extremely long phone. It's to accommodate her horse ear and her mouth. I mean, look at this stupid seat right here. It's made specifically for horse girls so that they don't get uncomfortable with their tails. There's even historical landmarks in the anime, like how there are Moai statues on Easter Island with horse girls. They even took famous Japanese horse racing paintings and converted them to accommodate the world. As you can see, these are horse girls racing here. So from a world point of view, this already made sense. The attention to detail was there. And so when it came to the actual personalities of each horse, guys, they couldn't have done a better job. For example, one of the most famous horses in Japanese racehorsing history is Goldship. This is a horse who ran 28 races and won 13 times. An incredible record. But what really made Goldship famous is that he was an absolute diva with a ridiculously unique and rage-baiting personality. In 2015, Goldship had a total of 12 billion yen betted on him. People were confident that he would win just like he won his other races. What we got instead was the day known as the 12 billion yen incident, when he would do this. Watch. He would simply refuse to race. Everyone would go except him. He didn't care. He just didn't feel like it, and so he didn't race, losing people 12 billion yen in bets.
Bad.
Now, this is how Goldship would look in the game and in general in the Umamusume universe. They would recreate the same incident in the anime series. Watch.
I see.
And just so you know, they brought back the same exact woman who was casting that day to voice in the anime. Guys, the attention to detail is ridiculous. So seeing that Goldship was an absolute diva, yet at the same time very skilled, Cygames made sure to incorporate that into Umamusume Pretty Derby. She'd be very skilled, very talented, and yet would have crazy mood swings, refusing to train, and sometimes, even though having the best stats, would just refuse to race. Like, they're not giving a single shit.
That's why she's
this
so
eccentric
famous.
Personality would so accurately be translated into the game that it would create a new overseas fan club for this IRL horse. I mean, look at this. This is a video of Goldship in retirement. Literally just hanging out. It has over 2.2 million views. This is just a horse hanging out for 2 minutes, not doing anything except fooling around.
Man,
that's how much of a sensation he became because of this game and his history. I mean, look, most people would have just stopped there and moved on to a different topic, but not with me, you won't. Goldship's personality wouldn't just end with him being a diva. He would also be one of the most successful breeders, with a successful mating rate of 99.1%, having over 500 children, with a few of them becoming absolute champions. In fact, according to some staff, after he would finish mating with a mare, she would then refuse to mate with anyone else but Goldship. That's just how good he is, man.
Wow,
but I guess it also explains why he enjoyed it so much. He would swing his cucumber from side to side because of how excited he was. Okay, I know this is like a ridiculous amount of detail, but people look into this. That's how obsessed they are with Goldship. This isn't just because he was skilled or a massive diva, he was a rage baiter. Like the whole 12 billion yen incident, but also the fact that his trainers realized that, wait a second,
the greatest of all
in his
time,
retirement, he's running even faster than he used to run back when he was still a racehorse, making them realize that he never used his full potential while being a racehorse, almost as if on purpose to spite his trainers. This made people realize that horses aren't just creatures that we share a special connection with. They also have many unique and diverse personalities. Most people have a hard time seeing that though, because we don't really interact with horses that much anymore.
No, we don't.
So turning them into anime horse girls with proper world building around them made us finally appreciate their very deep and valuable personalities. And no one received more appreciation than the horse Haru Urara. You see, when she was young, she would go unsold at an auction. Seeing that no one wanted to buy her, she was entrusted to the cheapest racecourse to run.
And she became a hero.
Her trainers thought that this would be a good chance for her to maybe win since she had a hard time training. But then she went on to lose 113 races in a row, never winning once. However, when she had lost her 87th race in a row, the race announcer, Koji Hashiguchi, would be absolutely shocked at this statistic. He was like, dude, this like never happens. Most horses would have given up by now. They would have retired. So he sent her racing record to national media outlets thinking, dude, this is insane. Like, you got to talk about this.
But she never gave up.
Which made her ridiculously famous. People started going in droves to where she raced, the Kochi racecourse. The wives of the jockeys, the people who rode the horses, took advantage of this and started making merchandise. And get this, at a certain point, people would go to this racecourse just to bet on Haru Urara, knowing very well that they were going to lose, but they would love that because then they'd use that betting ticket as a protective charm for car accidents. They believed that it held special powers, bro. You understand what I'm talking about here? This horse had superstitions made around it. I mean, this was such a big boom that Haru Urara had single-handedly saved the Kochi racecourse from going bankrupt. They were able to pay off all their debts thanks to her. And today, as you can see, Haru Urara is painted on the side here. That's how much of a legend she is. Seeing that she's in the game of Umamusume Pretty Derby, this prompted both Japanese and global players to select her to try and give her the win that she so very deserved.
I would definitely choose her.
Making her one of the most popular characters in the game. No wonder. This renewed attention from the global audience with their love for Haru Urara eventually allowed them to find out that they can send gifts to her in her retirement because she's still alive. They could send her some premium ryegrass directly.
Premium ryegrass?
2.7 tons of ryegrass.
Holy shit.
Usually one person could buy $40 worth, which is 5 kilograms. But people crashed the donation website, and now we're sitting at 2.7 tons. This is an image of this little cutie receiving her gifts, and it's prompted people to draw fan art of this phenomenon.
That's so
look at how much ryegrass is in front of her. She has enough food until the end times. 2.7 tons, you're insane! In fact, thanks to this game and its renewed attention on these horses and their accomplishments, many of them, who are now in retirement, are receiving many donations, able to fully enjoy their older years. This is because this game didn't just make a lot of money and renew interest in horse racing, but it has single-handedly revitalized the entire horse racing industry globally, specifically in Japan. In the world of horse racing, sometimes, unfortunately, racehorses are not able to retire. This can happen for a number of reasons, but usually it's because there's not enough funding. Back when this game released in Japan, it fueled a movement of people donating to many of these famous retired horses, ensuring that they not only live a good life, but that they can continue to live in general. But retirement isn't fun if you just have money. It's also nice when you meet people, when you still interact socially. Many of these retired racehorses started receiving visitors, so much so that Umamusume had to release an official guideline on how to visit stables and what to do in order to be respectful. For famous horses such as Haru Urara or Goldship, visits sell out immediately as soon as they're posted. This has led some crazy, ridiculous fans to sneak onto the stable grounds sometimes just to see the horses, with Cygames completely denouncing that and saying you shouldn't do that, stop. But that wasn't all. Cygames was making a lot of money from this game, and they understood that there's a mutual benefit here. If horse racing thrives, they thrive too. And so the president of cyber agents, Susumu Fujita, has become a high roller when it comes to buying expensive horses and raising them for races, always being one of the leading buyers when it comes to horse auctions in Japan. So far, he has spent easily over $10 million making up his own fleet of racehorses, and he's not planning on stopping anytime soon. But this isn't just about Japan. This is about horse racing globally. In May of this year, they had announced a partnership with the 151st Kentucky Derby, the most watched and most attended horse race in the United States, taking place since the year 1875. And you had this anime girl horse racing game being their biggest sponsor. This also extends to Paris. As you saw in the intro, they're not just sponsoring the Grand Prix de Paris, but they're the main sponsor. And I mean, look, if you show me an image of horse racing, I probably would think, oh, cool. But if I was a young person and saw a poster like this, I think, whoa, whatever this is, I want this. Where can I get tickets? It's an extremely mutually beneficial partnership. Additionally, racehorse merchandise has had a boom in Japan ever since the game had come out, truly turning this into an animal idol industry. These dolls, for example, they sell out like crazy. It's actually very hard to get them, especially if you're outside of Asia. Actually, I think they're keychains, but you get the point. Side Games was essentially making a lot of money from this, but they were using it for good things, making this industry a better place, helping treat retired horses even better, and in general being a positive force in the community. This reminds me how at some point Hoyoverse, the creators of Genshin Impact, had invested in a nuclear fusion reactor, and in 2024 it became operational. Who would have thought that you spending money on characters in a gacha game was going to end up somehow in a nuclear fusion reactor in Singapore? Overall, this industry is revived. It's back. Audiences now feature women, young people, middle-aged people, demographics that horse racing usually wouldn't be able to reach. This has already been happening in Japan, and I'm sure it'll start happening globally thanks to this game. I can't help but laugh when I say this, but it's true. This anime girl horse racing gacha game has somehow been able to single-handedly revive this entire sport while somehow making the world a better place. It's crazy, but it's where we are today. I hope I was able to explain why this game took over the world and why it's continuing to, and I really appreciate you watching until the end. This is a fairly different video from what I usually do on my channel, but hey, I figured it would be fun. Now the sponsor does want me to end this video with a message, so before I'll do that, I'll thank you again, say that I love you, and mwah, see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. As a reminder, you can get 100,000 Silver Lions, premium vehicles, 7 days premium account, and much more if you're a returning player that hasn't played for over 6 months, or if you're a new player in War Thunder. This applies to both PC and console. So click the link in the description or the pinned comment to download it for free today.
Haru Urara! Never give up! Amazing video by Mujin. Amazing video. I guess we're gonna check it out eventually. We're definitely going to check it out. I mean, it's booming, right? Like Genshin. Oh my god, it's been so long since I was at the start of a booming gacha game, or of any game. The only game I was at the beginning of was Path to Nowhere. Path to Nowhere is the only game. Oh, and Tower Fantasy. These two games where I was like day one player. Day one player, yeah. Okay, wait, how old is the game now on global? Is it like 1 week? Or is it 1 month? When did this game come out? Do you guys know? When the game came out? Hopefully I'm not too late to the party. Bakushi, the best song of 2025, Umapoi Densatsu. Okay, we're gonna check it out, not sure when yet. But I am interested, I want to see the hype, you know, I want to see a few months? Wait! This game is already out for a few months on global? I mean global. Already a few months? Umamusume? Oh my god, wait, I'm late to the party. A month or so. Wow! I'm so late! I see, good to know. Okay, wait, let's go and play Honkai Star Rail.